Coming up on this retrospective episode of Outlook TV, Clean, Sober, and Proud.
Vancouver Prides together again.
Montreal's Wendy Warhol at Le Cocktail. And much, much more. Hello and welcome to Outlook TV. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Sister Fancy Pants. We'd like to thank the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations for the honor and privilege to film this episode of Outlook TV on their traditional unceded lands.
We are the queer news magazine show that brings you the stories that matter the most from coast to coast. And like we do every time this year, we're going to do a retrospective. We're going to bring back a bunch of stories we really loved.
And first up is a story from our reporter John with a profile on Robert McNutt.
Hi viewers, John Crossan here. We're here to meet the fabulous Robert McNutt, antique collector and historian. He's got an incredible place, an amazing collection, and he's really a fabulous guy. Let's go meet him right now.
Musings of myself with antiques. I couldn't have been much more than about 4 years old in Halifax at my auntie's frat house, trying to convince them that they really need to give me the lighting fixtures because I wanted them. And then in around grade 3 or so, my friends used to go and break into the houses for demolition, smash all the windows, and I would be there with my screwdriver removing the lighting fixtures and the doorknobs. So my passions in life is I collect antique lighting fixtures made from about 1840 to about 1940, and antique builder's hardware, being the stuff that was specifically made for large buildings bearing monograms and logos on it. So that's the big passion, is protecting the stuff from destruction. So in amongst the other things I collect, when I used to go to the clubs in my party days, I thought to myself, I looked at the posters and the giveaway cards of the bars, and I thought to myself, I bet nobody will ever save this stuff. And so I decided to take as much as I could discreetly out of the bars and save it, because so little of the pre-internet age has been recorded. How has being gay influenced me? Quite often, if you were born to the straight white generation, life is made. For the rest of us, you always have to do better than them. Everything has been done finer than them, and you quite often get shunned and pushed away from society, and so you're left to be in your own corner doing your own thing. Why do antiques appeal to gays? It's because they are the items of the fineness. That a lot of gay people have that other interest in art and beauty, and antiques answer both of those. And look at the prize I got off that pile of garbage. Yes, it doesn't all have to be rare and expensive to be in my collection. This is a beautiful stand-up shower. Absolutely beautiful. Anyone who knows any Vancouver stuff, this is out of John Hendry's house. Heating grates, all hammered satin silver. I quite often say I have run the orphanage. I have brought the stuff in from bad circumstances. I have protected it from bad circumstances. I can restore the stuff, and I can turn the stuff around and sell it, and sometimes give it away to people who will look after these items for the next leg of their life.
This has been John Crossan with Outlook TV. What an adventure. I'm overwhelmed. I gotta get out of here. See you later.
This next story is particularly close to our hearts as it was reported on by Michael Murphy, who has since passed away.
He was also our camera person and editor.
He's very missed.
We're here today at Central City Tap House and Kitchen to celebrate Surrey Pride. The festivities are going to include performances by Mariah and Miss Adrian. Let's take a look.
It's really exciting to be celebrating Pride here. We want to be the hub for the whole community, regardless of how you identify, who you are, where you're from. So it's great that we can bring in everybody, especially for our first big event after COVID.
This is something that we were just sitting and discussing, and what a way to start an event, because of course it's Pride Week, and I actually reached out to the DBIA in Surrey here, and they connected me with Martin. And after speaking with Martin, he got all excited. I believe Martin is the president of the Pride in Surrey. I got connected with him. He came on board. We started talking to him, and I guess in the 20 years he's been on the tenor with this, he has never had someone approach him. And this is the first for Pride, and we were just glad to get on board with him. As you can see, we have, got, eventually you'll see all the decorations, we got things going. The guests are coming in.
It is the hottest day of the year, so I am melting, but it's so exciting to see a community bar turn around and host the first Pride event ever in this area other than the huge Surrey Pride. So this was done totally by them. And they contacted us and said, would you like to be part of our Pride Day? Because they felt it was really necessary to engage the community here and to engage all communities. So I'm really proud to be here.
Ask you all to put your hands together and say thanks to our first responders, our essential workers, and all of those people who have got us through this most horrendous last year and a half of our lives. Let's hear it for them. Without them, we would not.
Surrey Pride is technically today, but there is no official festival because of COVID. But I think this launches us into 2022, where we have a great network connection with the tap house and the mall, so that we can move forward to 2022 and have a monstrous festival.
Planning on doing something either quarterly or monthly. After seeing the hype with this that's been going on, we'd love to be a part of this, as I said, as from henceforth on. So we're looking at doing a few more activities and shows, etc. down the road.
This is Michael Murphy at Central City's Tap House and Kitchen in Surrey for Outlook TV.
We're going to have to take a little break now.
And hopefully my skirt will get longer.
I don't think that that's a hopefully. Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
We're headed back to Pride, Vancouver with Gary's story on Clean, Sober, and Proud.
We're at the Vancouver Pride Society 2021, and we're going to check out Clean, Sober, and Proud and party with them.
Welcome to Clean, Sober, and Proud 2021, COVID friendly. And we're excited to host this event today, which is a bunch of sober queens, recovery allies, putting on a show that's for promotion and awareness of recovery. Recovery from addiction is possible, and we do recover. Laster Recovery Societies, established in 1984, originally founded by a drag queen, so we're really proud of that. And over the years, from a small, tight-knit 20-bed facility has turned into one of North America's premier addiction recovery centers for youth and adults. That's why we created Clean, Sober, and Proud years ago. It's just we thought, everything at Pride has a beer tent. What do us sober folks do? So this idea was just to get together, and that's turned into these community events. It's okay if you drink and do drugs, but if you don't want to or if you can't, your life's not over. Like, Pride is yours. Something many years ago I heard from the sober community is, oh, I don't do Pride because it's too triggering or there's too much alcohol. That narrative's changed with Clean, Sober, and Proud, and I'm really proud of that. One of the things that we have today during Pride weekend is a memorial tree that was created by the Recovery Day BC organization, and we're hosting it today here. It was designed 2 years ago, and there's a few thousand names on it. And there's some of us that have lost dozens of friends, and it's the quiet crisis. And I really hope that people really understand people are dying.
Like, hey, are you okay?
Intoxicated is one of my favorite things to do all year. Before the pandemic, I was about 5-6 nights a week working in bars, and I love doing that, but there's just something special about the sober crowd. They're just so engaged. People are just here for the show. You just can feel the energy, and it's just one of the things that just tops me up in here that I do all year. So I love it.
Why this event is so important to me is because it lets people know that that there's support and that there's resources and that Pride is actually for everybody. So I love the fact that this is something that sometimes people think that if they don't drink that they have to stay home. But oh no, there's a thriving community of people that have been able to find their freedom with their sobriety. And we want to make sure that everybody actually feels like they can be part of that.
I honestly think that this is probably one of my favorite events of the Pride season. I myself am 6 years sober, so just the fact that we get a space to celebrate Pride and sobriety all kind of in one, and it's always such a hype, high energy event, it means the world to me. Very important to remember that, you know, being queer and living in like a queer existence doesn't always necessarily need to be laced up with drugs and alcohol. There's a lot of spaces and there's a lot of opportunity for people, you know, to not just explore sobriety, but kind of explore the alternative to just going out and partying all the time. And it's events like this that kind of really make that a reality because they're fun. Who doesn't want to be here?
What great entertainment we experienced. This is Gary Wolfader for Outlook TV.
Here's a story about the birds and the bees.
It's a film by We Three Vees called Snowball Effect.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, Outlook TV joins the fabulously queer production company We Three Vees to talk about their latest endeavor, the Snowball Effect. All for one and one snowball for all.
Hey, do you see this? Do you see that and that? Do you see babies everywhere? Do you see where they're not? They're not inside me.
It's been important for us to tell queer stories, and not just to tell them, to normalize queer content in mainstream media as much as possible. We tell engaging and relatable stories that reaches everyone, hopefully, and our main characters just happen to be queer.
The We Three Vees started when me and two of my friends who made films together realized we were a good team. And we started with a short film called The Funeral, where I believe there were 3 crew members and 2 cast. And the 3 of us have been working together for 5 years. And We Three Vees just is a representation of the V's that we each carry within us.
6 years ago, my partner at the time and I were at the point where we were ready to start looking for a sperm donor. And much like our characters find in this story, the options were extremely limited. So we decided to throw a microscope on this issue and to tell some of the stories of the would-be families facing this issue in Canada.
So the Snowball Effect has influenced me as an artist and a storyteller because it reaches more than just queer people. It reaches anyone who's had a struggle trying to have a kid or look for sperm donors or anything like that. And I like to reach out to people who might not be represented in the film industry or in television and movies and things like that. People who don't see themselves on screen.
The last 3 sets I've worked on with female directors, and at least 2 of them were creating the film for LGBTQ+ purposes. And I feel like I'm really leaning into that community, which is great because I'm straight. There's been a few drunken nights, but I've always been in LA, right? Like, that's just not going to change. I'm an ally for anything that's a little bit unjust or a little bit backwards in terms of what society is doing. And it's allowed me to understand what's okay, what's not, what's offensive, what's not, because as a straight person, there's naivety to that. I don't know, and I'm always on eggshells making sure I'm doing the right thing. And then to be honest, Grace or Gracie isn't too different from me in terms of the decisions she'd make or her ability to be strong when needed. So it's actually quite similar to who I am. So honestly, I just made sure that I had enough understanding of the dialogue so that I could be present.
We are in the process of writing a feature that should go to camera next summer. What would I tell a young up-and-coming queer storyteller? I would say keep watching films, keep reading, keep writing, and find your community. Collaboration and community are paramount in this industry and in the creative process in general.
Very long and hard process if you would like to donate your sperm in Canada.
Well, we definitely will not want to miss these guys on the big screen. What a mouthful. I'm Emily Ann Fraser reporting for Outlook TV Vancouver.
We have to take a little break now.
Hopefully my hat will get bigger.
I'm not sure that's possible. Welcome back. You're watching Outlook TV.
We're with our new and very single reporter T for his story on Together Again.
The LGBT movement was all about creating safe spaces, but when you're a part of a marginalized community within that community, safe spaces are hard to come by. So today, we're with Together Again and the people of Level Up and Vancouver Pride to talk about their event.
So Together Again is really exciting for us because it's one of our first partnered events with a QT BIPOC organizer with Level Up Vancouver. As a young queer person who came out many years ago, I think there wasn't a lot of QT BIPOC specific events during Pride. So it's super exciting to see Vancouver Pride specifically partner with QT BIPOC organizers to uplift their stories.
Level Up is a BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous, and people of color centered queer dance party, like a hip hop and rap dance party mostly. Level Up was happening once a month in the pre-pandemic world, and we haven't been doing them monthly, so this is, I guess, one of our first in-person events back in a really long time. So today we have a super fun, high energy lineup of QT BIPOC DJs and performers. We've got drag and go-go dancers. When we think about intersectionality and we think about you know, everyone having sort of existing within so many myriad of different identities. So we have like queer folks and trans folks, but we can also understand that folks that are Black, Indigenous, and people of color face a different set of barriers and obstacles. So I think that it's super important to have spaces carved out where we highlight and showcase those who exist within more marginalized communities. So creating a queer dance party for folks who exist within those communities.
My Pride is going busy. It's so nice to be back in it, like really in it, like hitting the ground running. There's just so much to do, so much to prep, and I'm really enjoying it so far. My performance for tonight is it going to be explicitly child-friendly? Maybe not. Is there going to be a lot of booty shaking? Yes. Will there be some belly shaking? Absolutely. I love my belly. Body positivity. Yeah, I'm going to flip this wig a lot. And like, I'm just so happy. It's hot. My face is going to melt off, and I'm going to look hot while it is melting off. Whenever I do a Level Up event, I know that I'm going to be celebrated for every aspect of my identity. I am not on the bill to fill a quota because somebody wants to seem woke and book me. I am here because they love me. They love learning things from me. They love like every part of my body. They love seeing me shine, and there's honestly just nothing like it. Woo!
Thank you, Vancouver Pride and Level Up. My name is T for Outlook TV.
This next story takes us back in time and over to Montreal.
We're catching up with my drag sister, Wendy Warhol, at Le Cocktail.
Friendships are so important in life, and particularly in the drag community. Today I'm speaking with two best friends, Wendy Warhol and Phoenix Vixen, about our upcoming new show called Eclipse at the Cocktail.
Tonight, Phoenix Vixen and I, we are showing to the people Eclipse. Like, my drag is more bubbly and her drag is more dark, so hence the name Eclipse. When I came back from Mexico, we did together again. We love working together. Another show, and it was actually it was my show. It was called Là pour rester jusqu'à ce que je reparte, which means I'm here to stay until I leave again. My friendship with Phoenix Vixen is very special because, first of all, she's my bestie. I love her so much. And not only that as a person, but also as a drag. I met her for the first time at Cabaret Mado when she was working there. We kind of clicked right away, and she decided to be my drag godmother. And since then, we've been friends, even more friends and more friends. And we started working together, and now we're even producing shows together. I feel blessed because even though we have like lots of restrictions, the people still show up and they're not scared anymore, because when the pandemic started, they were scared of going out. And now with all the measures, the sanity measures that we have, people are not scared to come, and they are very excited actually, because the bars have been closed for such a long time. So when they see us, they're like very excited, and it's so much fun.
My drag is kind of eclectic, I would like to say, because I can do a lot of things except comedy. I'm so boring in comedy, but I really like to do stuff that people don't usually do, or music that people don't usually do. So electronic, spoken word, some androgynous number. That's really the things I love. I like when the people in the crowd are like, oh my God, what's that song? Usually they used to ask me what's the name of the song. Now they have Shazam, but it's okay. I really love when I see people like Shazamming my song, or like, oh my God, this song was so good, I forgot that song exists. So that's kind of what I like. Kind of a dark side. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to work with Wendy. She's so pain in the ass. No, I'm joking. She's really fun. We have a good chemistry. Both of us have kind of two different energy, but we can merge those energy together to make something really fun and cool. And I think we're friends for now, like maybe 5 or 6 years. It's important to have good friends, not only because what's happening now in the world, but especially with all the social media. It's so easy to get hate online that we need some people to be like, no, you don't listen to them. I think it's important for us to just stay together and be stronger as a team than strong alone.
Make sure that you follow Phoenix and Wendy on social media to know what our next shows are going to be and when. For Outlook TV, this is Ollie in Montreal.
That is all the time we have for this retrospective episode of Outlook TV, but we'll be back with a second retrospective very soon.
And in between celebrating New Year's, why don't you check us out on all our social media platforms and consider volunteering with us.
We are a whole passel of fun. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Rebecca Wyman.
And I'm Sister Fancy Pants.
Stay festive, Canada.